Hello and welcome back. This is part 2 of Growing My Grandpa. Before we get into it, don't forget to like and subscribe. So in last week's episode, we successfully grew our grandpa just a little bit, and we're about to end the second week. Yes. Weekly summary. We got a bunch of food. We've got a bunch of documents. We did read quite a lot. Knowledge you acquired this week has given you access to a new conversation topic to discuss with Grandpa. Language. Week number 3. Mrs. Richards approached me the other day in order to remark on Adrienne's development. She noted how much more at ease she appeared when called upon in class, or when asked to participate in group exercises. I told her I had seen this change happening as well, and that as much as I would like to take credit for it, I can only guess dimly at what might be reshaping her attitude. Mrs. Richards posited that it was perhaps Adrienne's family moving into their grandfather's property that caused the change. It apparently is out in the country, in a wooded area full of wide open space and far from the bustle and noise of the city. The grandfather, Dr. Jacob Hart, had jointly purchased the land with the university he was employed with and begun constructing what he was intending to be a satellite campus for a burgeoning psychological anthropology program he had a hand in establishing. Only one building ever ended up being constructed after Dr. Hart died in a car accident when driving back from the property one day. Eerily, almost at the exact same time, a grad student who was assisting Dr. Hart on some sort of project at the property vanished without a trace. The property sat in disuse for years as it was tied up in legal battles between Dr. Hart's next of kin, the university, the vanished grad student's family, and the other students Dr. Hart was working with. Eventually, the case was settled out of court. Only recently did the property fall into the possession of Adrienne's mother. Obviously, I was not going to relay this whole tragic story to Adrienne, who for all I know believes her grandpa is still living in the basement of his home. Besides, I thought she might already know all of this. Perhaps the elaborate story she was constructed was her own way of escaping the morbid details of a life, or perhaps lives, cut short by the cruel force of fate and the cynical adults who squabbled in the aftermath. I determined perhaps the storytelling she was and continues to engage in should not be encouraged by me, at least not in the way I went about it before, where I made active inquiries into her strange fantasy of a semi-sentient ball of skin. When I saw Adrienne, I did not bring up her grandpa, or ask questions about his growth. Adrienne could not stop talking about it, however. I had no choice but to weather the bizarre and enthusiastic effusions about her new best friend. Adrienne, maybe we can talk about something else. I'm not sure I'm following you exactly. He's gotten so big. He has so many whiskers that come out, and I can see them move around when I think about him. I'm not sure what you mean. I'm so happy Grandpa is back. He's so much cooler than Mom and Dad. Once again, for what it's worth, I have put down the story she told me as best as I could. Adrienne once again told me about growing her grandpa. Alright, let's look around, examine. The hairy thing is still gone. Trash. I guess we're cleaning up already, aren't we? Man, look at all this mess that just... Is that a kiwi? Yes, it's a kiwi. Look at all the mess that accumulated in just 1 week. That's crazy. Where else would we be getting food, though? All clean. How about the bulbous growth? Now, we still need to find something to stab it with. And we need to find a flashlight. It's all coming back to me now. Cabinet. There's so much reading in this game that I forget to comment on what is happening. All clean, nothing to find here. How about the top drawer? And that's the one where the babies were in. Or the dolls, or whatever. These are probably dolls used for the experimentation, right? Because they need a doll and the likeness of somebody. Bottom drawer. Nothing to see here. Did we... Yeah. Let's check on Grandpa, then. Go to Grandpa. Oh, Grandpa, you're so hairy now. Observe. Grandpa's gums are bleeding slightly and its skin seems overly dry. It may need a food packed with vitamin C. A kiwi fruit would be an excellent remedy. What a coincidence! We just found one of those. Attempt to communicate? No response. I guess we feed him? Let's try and feed him. I mean, we do have exactly what it needs. Indifferent to the smell. There you go, some vitamin C, Grandpa. Grow nice and big. Let's see what happens when we observe it now. Grandpa grunts in appreciation and locomotes towards its favorite corner. Observe now. Grandpa appears content and ready to cooperate. Communicate. Grandpa accedes to your request. It approaches the bars and begins to unknit its skin. The inner Grandpa, though still not fully formed, is revealed. It may be fruitful to speak with it, if it can respond. Oh. Okay, sure. What about the wish? Grandpa still struggles somewhat to speak due to its underdeveloped tongue, mouth, and jaw. However, it managed to rasp out an answer. Hunger is not enough. On the walls of the cave, the aura can be hunger transformed. Desire is fulfilled by pain. Your Grandpa doesn't have the right words right now. I can only say, I love you. Love is not enough, though. Desire is not enough. Project it outwards. Make it true to yourself, if only in symbol. Then it will be enough. For me and for you. Damn, that's some deep shit, Grandpa. Ask about Grandpa's shell. Yes. Something to grow in my skin is not the doll's skin. My skin is not like your skin either. I can still feel your eyes on me inside, my shell. I have many eyes to see, but I don't need them as much as I need your eyes, with which I can understand as seeing me. There is a cycle of attention. You give me myself, but I am still not that. Slowly I form a human shape, and you see me more as human, and I become that. Damn. Ask about the biohazard bin. They kept putting me in a box, sleeping, and then set a light. And then in a box in the corner, in the darkness. Most of you couldn't read then. The scribe came and wrote what everyone said. They wrote on strips of bark, with thin reeds. No, it was not that. It was a paper posted somewhere. It had words to open the box. I was half dead in the box. The part of me that dies was put there for a long time. That part of me and other things they threw in, a refuse pile, papers they discarded. So that's about a code we read somewhere. We read a code for the waste disposal bin, but we haven't seen the bin yet. Language. Grandpa is old. My lives were easier before I made myself to speak, and before you made clothes to wear and rules to obey. Your Grandpa remembers. I have learned much in many lives and deaths. Keep speaking with me. I love talking with you and learning from you, and it helps your Grandpa so much. Soon I will be everything you would like me to be. So he's insinuating that Grandpa is older than man, or at least older than when we learned to wear clothes. Goodbye. Grandpa silently ascends back into its shell. Alright, we don't have anything to teach Grandpa. Not much to feed him. We need 3 acceptable foods and 2 words. We need to explore. Okay. I can do that. But I think I have to do that. Wait, here. Go to the study corner. We can examine these posters again, but there's nothing new here. I guess we searched file cabinets again. There's probably all kinds of garbage here. Where does it come from? Who's putting it here? All clean? Huh. Last time, every single one of these had 1 or more things in it. Now I'm kind of at a loss as to where to look. All clean? Okay, this one didn't even get dirty. Huh. We have glue and a key? Wait, there's another bulbous growth in this corner? Oh. So there's 2 bulbous growths now. Oh, I thought we had searched this one already, but we haven't. Hey, there we go. I wonder if this is a new thing we can teach Grandpa. Yes, indecision. Let's get right on that. I don't know what else to do currently. We can feed it something. We still have something to feed it, I think. Let's do this first. Not the study corner. Go to Grandpa. Teach Grandpa. Indecision. Alright. Let's do this. Let's do this. It's not very hard. This one is taking longer than the words of week 2. Looks like it's a bit harder. Oh my! You see my cursor completely freaking out? That's new too. Indecision must be a super hard word. Come on. Come on. Come on. Strange membranes phonated confidently. That was actually pretty close. Indecision. Part of vocabulary and vocalization module F23. Theory of mind. General pronunciation comments. Articulation problems. Possible trouble with diphthongs. Module comments see below. We are introducing the latest growth of whiskers to more subtle social cues and testing its ability to judge mental states of participants in conversation. The semantic content that flows to whiskers via its sigh fuel is still becoming muddled and slipped without distinction to conversation. Although our intention instilling in it a solid theory of mind will perhaps make it begin to understand that we do not know what it knows or know what we are without our control sending to it. One would think a theory of mind seems to develop as part of its maturation process. In order to hunt sapient beings, it must be able to deceive them. In order to deceive it, must be able to make certain metacognitive judgments. For example, if their deception appears to be working, how one ought to be deceived. We may never see it develop a theory of mind anytime soon, as Dr. Hart has disallowed a cycle of whiskers growth to live into the beginnings of maturity. Oh. But what's next? Let's go to the food corner. I don't think we've done that yet. Just to see what happens. Search upper fridge. A pear? A strawberry. Look at all the fruits we're finding. It's great. Prepare food. Let's see if we... Oh, we can put the battery in a pear. Interesting. The battery's concealed in soft pear flesh. Well now, let's go and feed Grandpa that battery and see what he pukes up. I bet we're gonna find a knife this time. You smell that? It smells pretty good, right? Yeah. What do you think of that? Although quickly consumed, the meal seems to be causing some indigestion. And with a sudden lurch, Grandpa empties its stomach onto the floor. The contents are deposited into the pool of Grandpa's previous stomach expulsion. Alright. Let's check it out. Scissors. I knew it. A bit rusty, but still perfectly usable. This might help you explore more of the basement. Don't mind if I do. Which bulbous growth are we tackling first? This was the first one, I think, so. You carefully make an incision into the growth with your scissors. It is now possible to take a look inside. Ooh, please, yes. You peer into the small opening created by your incision. In the oily cavity, a powerful smell of rot arises, and many small increate beings lay motionless and dead. However, you just barely hear the near silent slithering of something, or maybe it is just your imagination. Oh my. This is pretty disgusting. I like it. Oh, there we go. I was about to say, what are we gonna find? What are you? Anthropoid Remnant 1. A self-sufficient animal form knit together from years of ambient thoughts left to crawl around the basement. Grandpa may enjoy the flesh. I thought we were not supposed to feed it stuff like that. I've gained the conversation topic little friends. Oh my. Is this a choice? Whether we want to feed it itself or not? Oh wait, I didn't search this one. What? Life. Look at us finding all this stuff and cleaning the basement like the good kids we are. I wonder. Oh. Potato. Potato. Alright, can we search the painting again? Is there something... Doesn't look like it. Carefully make an incision in this one. Let's have a look. In the oily cavity, a powerful smell of rot. Yes. More slithering. So we're gonna find another friend here. We've got some more things to talk to Grandpa about. We've got some more things to teach him. There's our boy. Anthropoid Remnant 2. We did read a note about it getting excited to eat its own. So I'm thinking this might be a choice whether we feed him himself or not. Since it's bad, maybe. I say for now we are going to try and feed him himself. See what happens. But first let's talk to Grandpa. Grandpa accedes to your request. Hello, Grandpa. Let's talk about little friends. The little ones, they grow like seeds off my skin. Worms fall off my body. Thoughts falling off of me. Dreams put there by others. When I was under the ground, I made only very few. Shepherds walked through the grave, and I saw them lusting for their wives, and my skin made their loving faces. I called them out into the darkness with their loved voices. One by one, I took their shapes in their skin and blood. That was a time ago, before stone buildings, before the orders of angels and words and symbols. I'm sorry, Grandpa is thinking. There's a little left over from the others too. I'm still so hungry for flesh. Part of me is. I would even eat one of them that fell off of me. I can't help it, they grow off of me. They fall off and grow in the dark, grow around me. Alright, so even Grandpa is like reluctant to eat himself. But you know, we settled on doing this, so we're gonna do it. But first, let's teach Grandpa about life. The word life. It's starting to look more and more like Grandpa is some kind of ancient being that was somehow... That was quicker than I thought. Not quite, not quite. Life, part of vocabulary and vocalization module P29, concept formation. General pronunciation comments, none. Oh, so that went well. At week 3 of growth 24, Whiskers appeared to recall some information from a previous growth cycle. We cannot be sure that this was really the case. For all we know, what we interpreted is it recollecting this information was really it drawing semantic content from one of our recollections of it, and redeploying it without rationality or contextualization. For the sake of our safety and for the sake of scientific inquiry, we are attempting to draw out from Whiskers whether it somehow retains knowledge from previous cycles in its morphalic nucleus. We did not think it was possible the nucleus, though complex and incredible in its regenerative abilities, was capable of this, and that the nerve network that grew from it made up the base of Whiskers' mind. And so, we are now attempting to ask Whiskers, as best we can, if it has ever died, or what it might remember if it did. Oh. From what I hear, like from what we hear from current Grandpa, Grandpa recently emptied his stomach. Yeah, I know. Is that it has never died. So now basically we're going to feed it himself. Just checking. Just checking. Feed Grandpa. Anthropoid 1. Oh. We really don't have to feed him himself, but we're gonna do it. Grandpa seems excited by the flesh smell. Oh! What's gonna happen? The meal appears to have been particularly well received. Your offering of flesh stirs something within Grandpa. From within the folds of its body, a wiry, proboscis-like appendage begins to emerge. It may be worth taking a look at this after the feeding. Knowledge you have acquired, has given you access to a new conversation topic to discuss with Grandpa. Proboscis. I feel like we should check this out before we continue feeding it. Let's talk about this. First, observe. Grandpa appears content and ready to cooperate. Alright. Attempt to communicate. Alright, Grandpa. Let's talk about proboscis. Grandpa still struggles somewhat to speak. Yes, that is, a part like a tongue. I was lost in the mountains and so thirsty. I was walking up a hill and found a lamp and drank from it with my tongue, and I fell asleep for a long time. I woke up as a half-formed child. I had died before. My grieving mother had remade me. We had made a contract and she completed it. I do not remember more. contract. That's interesting, right? Alright, now let's feed him the other one. So it feels like feeding him himself gives him memories of previous lives. Ah, his desire for flesh has been sated, though. A brown strawberry is as hard as a rock. Neutral reaction. Alright, so we can only feed him flesh once a week. Okay. Grandpa grunts in appreciation and locomotes towards its favorite corner. So we are basically done for the week. End week. Found a bunch of food, not as much documents, not by a long shot. Week 4. So this is approaching, I think, what did it say? That it was either 4 or 5 weeks that was the maximum amount allowed. The time I have to spend compiling an evaluation on Adrienne is almost up, and I still can't say what to make of her changes in mood. It is of course the case that children of Adrienne's age are nowhere near finished learning and growing. I may have to simply be happy that Adrienne was able to improve her attitude. However, something in the odd and occasionally grotesque stories she continues to bring up to me still strike me as meaningful. How has your week been, Adrienne? Grandpa is almost ready. He's almost finished. Well, sort of. Ah. He's almost as big as his shell now. He has a face, and he can talk pretty well, and almost has legs. I see. As before, I have put down the story she told me as best as I could. Once again, Adrienne told me about growing her grandpa. Alright, so these weeks are way quicker than the first two. Let's start cleaning immediately. What's that? What are you? Bar of soap. This isn't really food. Grandpa might eat it, however. Okay. So another indigestible food we can use to coerce an item out of his stomach. All of these items have been of previous iterations of Grandpa. All clean. How about the growth? However, you just barely hear the near silent slithering of something. Alright, so we can re-clean this bulbous growth. And see if it has anything new in it. Doesn't feel like it. Nope. Alright, fine. Onwards. Nothing here. Cabinet. See if we can find something here. So far, it's been getting more and more sparse. What are you, though? Ah. Meaning. There's less talking and more gameplay. Top drawer. The gameplay being throwing away the trash. If I were even half this active cleaning up my own house, I'd have such a clean house. Bottom drawer. Nothing new here, just like last time. And a new bulbous growth. It is now possible to take a look inside. Alright, this always says the same. Yes. Alright, we're looking for a new friend. A new little friend. So these growths are just creatures that fall off of Grandpa and make a little cocoon somewhere for some reason. I wonder if given time, they would turn into one of those creatures or not. A self-sufficient animal. Form knit together from years of ambient thoughts. Another trash pile. This bulbous growth is gone, it seems. settled on first cleaning this entire room and then looking at the other room. What's this? Flatbread. That sounds like something we could conceal something in. Still don't think the painting has something new here. Another trash pile. I'm really getting the hang of the game now. I get what it wants me to do. That... Oh, hello. What are you? A mushroom. Now that's the first thing that makes sense that I found. Symbol. Oh, the bulbous growth. I have a feeling that this is not going to give us anything new, but... What can I say? I'm just a neat freak. I want everything to be clean. Just gotta clean it all up. Yeah, I don't think this will net us anything. Nothing. Alright. Onwards to... Yeah, I think that's it for now. For this space. So now we basically have the study corner and the kitchen corner to explore. Again, gonna look for the educational posters just to be sure. File cabinet 1. Give us some files, baby. At some point we have to find that flashlight to explore that dark corner. Or whatever light source they're gonna throw at us. Man, where does all this trash come from? Is even the trash sentient in this game? Where are the parents in all of this? Nothing. And nothing. So, last part is the kitchen corner. An apple. And jackfruit. We've got so much food. Jeez. We could put it in a potato or an apple. You know, I thought the flatbread was a good option. I'll do the potato. Gotta love a good potato. I don't think... Did we have any new topics to discuss with Grandpa? Let's observe first. Oh, look. He's starting to look like a grandpa. Grandpa seems fatigued and almost anemic. Some of its spines appear brittle. Perhaps it would be more cooperative if fed an iron-rich meal like meat. Well, I've got some meat. You know what? I'm gonna feed him first. Give him some meat. Anthropoid 2. Excited by the flesh smell and cilia wave of... I can't read that quick enough. Enjoy the meat, Grandpa. Your offering of flesh stirs something within Grandpa, for within the folds of its body, a wire proboscis-like appendage begins to... Another one? Another one? Concealed soap. What's the bit of soap gonna do? Yes, Grandpa's puking it out. Yes, 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 yes. I bet it doesn't need another one of these. Yes. So, we basically fed him one thing and it wants 3, I think. Give him an apple. Wait, that was stupid. No! No, did I give him an apple? Oh, that was one of the things we could conceal something in. Oh, no, that was stupid, maybe. Oh, no. Let's hope that doesn't bite us in the ass. We'll see. So, Grandpa should be quite happy with all of this. Yeah, 3 acceptable foods. Examine the stomach. There we go. There's the flashlight. Older model. Flashlight still functioning. This might help you explore more of the basement. Oh, you bet it. Oh. Oh, Grandpa. What is that cape-like thing? Let's observe him. Grandpa appears content and ready to cooperate. Right, before we do anything else. Bookshelf and the waste bin. Oh yeah. First let's check the bookshelf. A simple paper doll. This might be useful in the construction of magic symbols. A classic of alchemy. You can examine this in detail later at the study corner. Ah. Anything else? Don't think so. Yeah, the waste bin. Alright, we need to go to the study corner where we can see the code. And what was the other thing we found? Subordination of hidden beings. Okay. On the virtue of thee prudent when dealing with devils, seen or unseen. These splendors and terrors of God's creations inhabit three worlds of both seen and unseen. And just as one will not grapple with a lion, lest they be a fool, one will not approach a being of the mind or ether without foreknowledge of thereof. There are beings with no form, hiding between towering columns of air and only appearing by slipping into the heart of or mind of evil and unclean men. But still there are more beings which straddle the realm between the seen and unseen, creatures feeling through the air to see the heart or mind of men. It is only by God's grace and his angels and servants crushing these beings under heel that a magician might compel them to the magician's will, and so a magician must be perfectly clear and unerring in intent and ritual, granted to us by God, or else the devils, seen or unseen, will devour them, that being their nature. On the nourishing of devils of a particular type. Certain devils of a particular nature are nourished by the elements of fire, others by attention and prayer given to their idols, still others by stranger and more obscure means. By God's grace, the required for nourishing a devil as part of a contract only requires a token of these givens, that is, a symbol. If a devil hungers after flesh and would strip a man to his bones in its devouring, the devil's hunger and nature, which thirst for flesh, can be held in abeyance in the ritual act of giving blood in only a few drops. However, the contract must be completed in full, for if the magician errs and does not provide in the devil instruction and guidance, the devil, once abjured to do no harm upon the magician, will return to its devouring nature. So it kind of sounds now that either Grandpa is some kind of devil that feeds on thoughts, or this entire mythology is based around these creatures. They're not devils or angels at all, but just creatures that are hard to explain. I hope we're gonna find out which it is. Termination procedure, I think that was it. Let's see. Yes! 323245. Let's see if I can remember that. Three, two, 4, 5. Oh! The lid unlocks, and with some effort, you move the heavy lid off the bin. Wait a minute. Those are some whiskers, right? What exactly do we want to do here? Oh, wait a fucking minute. We can make Mom? Paper Doll 1 and Paper Doll 2. Glue together, yeah. A tangible symbol of intention and desire. Okay, but what do we do with this? I don't quite know what to do with the waste bin just yet. Let's talk to Grandpa for a bit first. Oh my. He keeps changing now. Content and ready to cooperate. Let's attempt to communicate. I don't know if he had... I don't know if we had any new things to talk about. Oh! Is that a shirt? He looks... Is that glasses? He's different now. Oh wait, we should ask about his proboscis again. Because he got a new one. From the anthropoid we fed to it. Boop, 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 boop. Oh my, oh that's different. Grandpa loudly clears its throat before gently responding in a lucid, well-projected voice. Oh, you're asking me about my proboscis. It is just a little tube I keep to help me feed on blood. You could say it is my real mouth, but it's not really a mouth. It appears because you fed me flesh. One of those little friends you found, I think. You feeding me flesh was a symbol, a proposition, if you will, that you wanted to hold up your end of the bargain with regards to your wish. If someone is willing to hold up their end of the bargain and let me feed on them with my proboscis, then they can move on to the next step of the agreement, providing me symbolic instructions. I hope that helps clear things up. Oh, you have another question? Do I like the blood? Well, my whiskers, I believe, they like the blood and the flesh. It's strange. They are me, and yet they are now me. I am bound to them. They control me, and technically, yes, they did make me. However, you were the one who really grew me. In some ways, those whiskers, they are me, or a part of myself, or I am a part of it. That part is much more animal-like. Whatever might happen, know that I will always love you, and because it controls me, I might not be able to act how I would like, even if I do love you. Alright, so that was very different. I feel like we should ask all the questions again now. Ask about the wish. Ah, you're asking me about your wish. When you wished for me to come back, that's when I knew I would. Your desperation was strong, and your wish for your parents, well, if you give me what I want, I'll give you what you want. You know I love you. I am for you, whatever you want, and I love you just as much as you love me. But desperation and love is not enough. People deep down know they can't get what they wish for without some transformation. There is something that sits at the roof of everyone's soul that understands the separation between them and eternity. You may desire something, but you know you will not get it without some movement on your part. So it is not enough to just wish. Which you know will not work. You must wish and a little more to transform your intention into something that might fructify or for desire to become reality. Okay. What about your shell? Ah, you're asking me about my shell. Oh, well, you see, I like to have something to grow in, something shaped like a person. It just helps to have something surrounding me when I don't have my skin. My whiskers do the growing. My whiskers? Yes, you know, the hairy little things. I'm a part of it, and it is a part of me. However, my whiskers are what heard you wishing for me to come back, and so they went to work in the shell you provided. The shell also helps you envision me as what you desire. You have such a nice imagination. If I weren't in my shell, you'd have my whiskers exposed and knitting together my face. That might interrupt the feedback loop of my reading your desires. Oh. And then acting upon the desires I have read, and then once again reading your reaction. We wouldn't want that interfered with. The material of the doll you put down is a good fit. It's not the most comfortable, but it's quite flexible, and thankfully my shell was able to adjust nicely to my growth. This is so goddamn interesting. The biohazard bin. Ah, you're asking about the medical waste bin. I believe it's locked up. I heard them punch in the code many times as they placed part of burnt-up drying self into the bin. They often forgot what the code was and had to go check on the wall where they were always taping up sheets upon sheets of information. So much so that the new papers would cover the old. What do you think you would find in there? That's a big hint. Well, perhaps something. They did throw trash inside from time to time, bits of paper and so forth. I remember seeing a man who looked quite like me, his daughter, and had given him a photo of her new boyfriend. Dad? He threw it into the bin in disgust and joked with one of his colleagues. It may still be in there for all I know. I didn't see that. Language. You're asking about language. Well, the more you taught me, the more I was able to learn myself by hearing what you are thinking and saying. A week ago, I could speak a little bit, but I was less of what you imagined me to be, and not quite the talker I am at the moment. Part of what I am saying is of course made up of what you expect me to say. I think I am very comfortable being open and honest with you because I am your grandpa, and I love you, and certainly that makes up part of what I am. However, there is a part of me deeper down, the thing that created me maybe, that undying nucleus. It is answering for me as well, and is unaffected by whoever might shape what I become with their thoughts. Alright, so he is still in there. Hi, you're asking about my little friends. Well, yes, they come from me. They grow around me in pockets of flesh and protoplasm. Think of them like dreams, maybe. I'll explain. Have you ever had a dream that was sort of like a bunch of people, places, and events you experienced, all mixed together and jumbled up? It's a sorting through and disposing of the refuse of the mind. My little friends are like that, refuse. And ridding myself of them, I am casting off the excess material I did not use in developing life forms. Anyone who comes close to me, well, they are my eyes, my nose, my skin. Their thoughts become mine and shape what I make. However, when I was alone for so long, I didn't have a lot of people near me. What you are thinking and expecting of me is shaping what I am saying, how I am saying it. Do you understand? And so, because I did not have enough input from my surroundings in order to put the material to use, the material falls off my body, crawls away, and usually dies. I am able to make the most of my material when someone is looking right at me, projecting who I like, who I will be, like you are now. What you are thinking and expecting of me is shaping what I'm saying, how I'm saying it. Do you understand? I do. Grandpa silently ascends back into its shell. So it's still in there. We did feed him already. Let's teach. Examine proboscis. At first, your motion to Grandpa to approach and point to the thin protuberance. Grandpa silently ambles closer to the bars and fully extends it towards you. A minuscule needle extends from its tip. There appears to be one more thing you must give, if only for the sake of propriety. What do I give? Food? None of these. None of those. There's nothing I can do here for now. Grandpa retracts its proboscis as you step away from the bars. Okay. Let's say we can offer the mother doll. That's interesting. But maybe we should teach it first. Meaning. Teach it about meaning. Oh. This is getting harder. Like, my cursor is all over the place now, sometimes. It's not really hard. Meaning, part of vocabulary and vocalization module J11. Metacognition, higher thought. No comments on the pronunciation. We further delve into the abstraction with Whiskers, partially, or perhaps for the most part, for the purpose of determining the origin of its recollections that precede its death. Dr. Hart has begun to theorize that in the process of death, the structure of Whiskers is compressed back into the morpholactic nucleus, and then later, upon re-establishing, the nerve netting that is laced through its spines is slowly reassembled and redeployed as needed. I do not think this is the case, for I can plainly see that for growth cycles in which Whiskers is not receiving our pronunciation and vocabulary lessons, that its capacity generally for comprehending its environment is greatly diminished. And in the simulated conversations we carry out, Whiskers struggles greatly or else does not participate. In any case, we will press on with our lessons and heed Dr. Hart's caution regarding terminating the growth cycle before Whiskers' allotted growth time passes, or if it appears to be becoming just a little too competent at appearing human. Well, we're not going to do that at all, though. First, let's teach the second word, symbol. And Then we'll feed it the mother doll. Did it say feed or present? I'm not sure. This is going well. The lessons are going well. I like that. That was pretty accurate. Module J15, metacognition, higher thought. There is nothing. There appears to be nothing written here. If there was, it was thoroughly erased. Interesting. That hasn't happened yet. Yeah, offer the mother doll, I guess. Grandpa doesn't appear to be interested at the moment. I still want to check out the waste bin again before we leave. Ah! A photo of your father as a young man. Your father looks like a hippie. So now we have mom and dad. A tangible symbol of attention and desire. So we did miss that. I'm glad we went back. Grandpa? Father doll? Not interested. Okay, I guess we're ending the week again. Weekly summary, bunch of fruit, bunch of documents. Week 5. This is definitely the week where things are going to go down, I'm pretty sure. Who could that be? Come in. Ah, Adrien. Good to see you. Aren't you a little early? No matter. I suppose I have some time now. How have you been? How's your grandpa doing? That's why I wanted to talk to you. Something happened. Oh, what happened? Nothing bad, I hope. No, nothing bad. Just different, I think. Maybe even good. Well, I'll tell you about it. Well, last night, something woke me up. There was this noise at first. It was like it came from the walls. I could hear it from my bedroom. But there was something else. Something calling. I could hear it just barely. I was afraid somehow Grandpa hurt himself. I had to go find out. Oh. I went down the stairs in the vent. The place where I first found Grandpa, or what I grew him with, it was open. Do you remember how I told you about the vent in the ceiling behind the bars? I was thinking he had climbed up into it. He had gotten so big he could have done that. Maybe he had gotten trapped somehow in the vent. I had to go see. I can't do anything else besides getting into the vent. I got inside. I heard the calling again, more clearly this time. Grandpa was definitely in the vents somewhere. I could feel him hearing my thoughts. I got that weird feeling, a sense in the air. I had to go forward. Oh, shit. Oh. As I moved in closer, the vent had stuff in it. The kind of slimy, hairy stuff Grandpa could leave or would leave around a lot. He was definitely close. Something was there at the end. But it wasn't Grandpa. It looked maybe like he had made it, though. I can't interact with it. It was slumped in the corner. Had a weird mouth, and it had his lungs on the outside and drew in just enough air to call out. And then it just stopped. Stopped breathing. And then something was hanging over me. And then I woke up in my bed. Oh, God. In your bed? Adrienne, it sounds like it was quite a dreadful dream. Are you alright, by the way? Your face is twitching, like you're about to have a violent sneeze. I'm fine. It's just Grandpa, you see. It took me a little while to figure out, but... Later, when I was brushing my teeth, I saw one of Grandpa's whiskers poking just out of the space under my eye. And I started to remember how in the vent he had hid inside of me. It was so fast I could barely remember, but soon I started to feel him sliding around my head, behind my forehead, and behind my eyes and nose. It doesn't hurt at all. It's just ticklish. I'm glad I can be with him. Oh, I can feel him now. I think he wants to meet you. Part of him is moving down my arm. Oh. I'm starting to get worried, Adrienne. You really should not be twitching like this. I should walk you to the nurse's office. Come on, let's go. You should really meet him. I've told you so much about him. Here. What are you doing? Adrienne, you're starting to look very ill. Please, just wait. Just stay still. He's gathering, waiting at my fingertips. Why do you look like that? You don't have to be afraid. Look. There are two endings in Girl My Grandpa. You got the failure of fulfillment ending. Oh my. Wait, what did we do wrong though? What did we do wrong? I'm gonna go back in. I want that other ending. I want it. Look, that's me. That's me. I'm not gonna lie. I was almost starting to believe that Grandpa was some kind of benevolent creature that actually loved us. But that did not sound like the good ending. And I think I have some ideas. Let's go back in and see if we can find that other ending. Alright, so I took a little break. I used my brain and I thought, what can I do differently? I have this save, which is right before we started feeding Grandpa meat. So the idea I have right now is to not feed him any meat and see what happens. So let's teach him some words and feed him acceptable food. See what happens. We already fed him one thing. And we're gonna feed him 2 more acceptable foods. And it all seems to work out just right without the anthropoids or the potato, which we could hide something in. And boom. We basically did what we have to do. Let's end the week. Week 4, I'm wondering if he's any different now, if he's less developed without the meat. Grab the flashlight. Oh, we already had the scissors, that's right. 3, 2, 4, 5. I feel like this this photograph, it hasn't come into play in the other playthrough. So it's gotta be something to do with that. Let's make Mom. Let's make Dad. Meaning. Flatbread. Mushroom. Symbol. Alright, so I feel like we're in a good spot now. So we can offer these dolls. I should maybe try that. Not interested. Perhaps it would be more cooperative if fed an iron-rich meal like a meat, so we're not gonna do that. We can do flatbread, mushroom, and jackfruit. Then we'll still have an apple to hide something in, and we will not have fed him any meat. I wonder what to do with the dolls, though. That's the one big mystery still to me. So we're basically done with this week, but I still want to check out, like, observe first. Fatigued and almost anemic. Still no meat for Grandpa. What if we communicate? No response. That's fine. Offer the dolls. Not interested still. I guess we end the week. I'm hesitant to save because I don't know. You can only have one save. I'll not save. Week 5. Doesn't seem like anything different is happening. I think nothing different happened this time. Yeah, I saw one of Grandpa's whiskers poking just out of the space under my eye. So nothing different happened here. What else could we have done? Alright, I have one more idea, and that's going all in. somehow giving him all three of the little fetuses and see what happens. Let's see if that works. That's one. All right, so this is also another mystery, right? The proboscis that he somehow develops. We can examine that. See that? I haven't really clicked around. Okay. Grandpa has appreciated your blood offering. It will receive a symbol or totem from you now, although only one per offering. As the blood-fed proboscis retracts back into the folds of fabric, you step away from the bars. I remember now. One of the stories said that if not fed blood, it would go back to its animalistic ways. Something like that. So we're giving it blood to keep it nice and cooperative. Wait, we don't have the dolls yet. Alright, I'll be right back. Approach the bars and hold out the mother symbol you created. Grandpa's spines quickly reach out and envelop the doll before drawing back. The doll quickly vanishes within the folds of Grandpa's skin. Constructing and then offering your mother's image to Grandpa, symbolically sated by blood, instills in you a concrete sense of completion. Grandpa gives a soft, affirming grunt as it senses deep within your mind the ritual transformation of your desire. Although Grandpa must receive both a mother and father totem before the fulfillment of your wish is assured. Oh my. Interesting. That's very different now. Alright, we have taught and fed Grandpa everything he needs. Right, end week. This feels good. This feels good. The last of our little friends. Tangible symbol of attention and desire. Let's go back to Grandpa. Most importantly, an anthropoid. So now he gets another proboscis, and we can actually feed him some more blood. Take my blood, and then take my dad. Offer father doll. You approach the bars and hold out the father symbol you created. It takes it. Constructing and then offering your father's image to Grandpa, symbolically sated by blood, instills in you a concrete sense of completion. Grandpa gives a soft, affirming grunt as it senses deep within your mind the ritual transformation of your desire. Although Grandpa must receive both mother and father totem before the fulfillment of your wish is assured. Knowledge you recently acquired has given you access to a new conversation topic to discuss with Grandpa. Completed contract. Progress. Right, let's finish the feeding and the teaching first, and then we talk to him. Right, now let's communicate. Let's attempt to communicate. Alright, so we can now talk about the completed contract. Thank you so much for completing the contract. I'll definitely help you out with your parents. Just give me a little time and I'll be ready to act. I think you'll be very happy. Your grandpa is very happy too. You did it all by yourself, you know. I couldn't have helped you if I tried. I would have really not have liked to. Well, I did not want you to not complete the contract. I would have hated that. But do you understand why I would have had to? Maybe you don't. So much of your lives are made up, and yet what comes to pass was always once a fiction. You doubt yourself and your plans before they are even begun, and you believe what is in front of you as if the essence of things was not something you put there long ago. Too much doubt can suffocate even the surest thing. Only with patience and growth and nurturing does something become what it will be, as you soon shall see. Okay, it really feels like we're gonna get a different ending now. I'm gonna save. I feel good about this. Alright, let's see what happens. End week. The only thing that still kind of confuses me is the fact that we still have another anthropoid. Week 5. I think this is going to be different. I met with Adrienne one final time in order to see if I could not reach some sort of resolution regarding her emotional trouble. In these past few weeks, according to the reports of her teachers and peers, she has shown a remarkable transformation in conduct. I would also add my voice to this consensus. It seems as if, in our time together, much has changed for the better. I'm not suggesting our meetings were the sole source of her sea change. I think something has happened in her home life that has reoriented Adrienne completely. She seems to suggest as much, at least, in her usually esoteric way when we last spoke. Something tells me something may have changed with Grandpa. Yes, well, something did change. I'll write down her words verbatim here. I went down the stairs like I always did, but I sort of felt like something was different. My parents weren't arguing, and I felt something had changed with Grandpa too. There was a weird noise, but I wasn't afraid. So this time... this is not different. Like, the vent hasn't been blown out. That's a weird noise. What the hell? Is that Mom and Dad? It is, isn't it? I think Grandpa had to leave, but before he left, he made my parents nice. He reached inside and changed them. That was my wish. Maybe even what I was growing wasn't really my grandpa. Grandpa left what I was growing behind. He's gone now. He moved quickly out to I don't know where, but I'll always love him. I dismissed Adrienne soon after, letting her know it was a pleasure getting to know her. Despite my apprehensiveness about the speed of the turnaround she has made, I cannot see any reason why Adrienne should be considered for further evaluation. And as a counselor for Adrienne, let it be known that I believe she is of sound mental and emotional health. I am pleased to see things turn out this way, and if I may make a brief addendum. By happenstance, Mrs. Richardson bumped into the Hart family the other day while running an errand. She told me the parents were a little odd, but very pleasant, and quite clearly they adored their child. And that she had never seen Adrienne happier. You got the fulfilled contract ending. Hell yeah, we did it, gang. We did it. That was so fucking cool. I really enjoyed every second of that game. I enjoyed narrating it for you guys, and I hope you enjoyed it as well. Again, check out James. I'll leave his details in the description down below. Become his patron, like I said in the last video. We need him to worry about making games, not making money. So my final theory is Grandpa was some kind of old being, maybe a demon. Maybe people just thought it was a demon back in the day. Either way, some form of contract was formed in order for Grandpa to remake our parents in a way that they weren't arguing. Actually, it's a pretty sad story. Grandpa is some kind of being. He genetically rewired our parents so that they're nice. Beautiful story. The implications. The way it speaks to my imagination. 10 out of 10. And I can't wait for James's next game. And I want to thank you so much for watching. Please check out my Twitch. I will leave a link in the description as well. And I hope to see you again next week. Have a great